your new Miss Universe Canada 2024 is Ashley Callingbull. And congratulations to our first runner-up, Reka.
Tansei, my name is Ashley Callingbull and I'm from the Enoch Cree Nation in Alberta, and I'm your new Miss Universe Canada 2024. My name is Ashley Callingbull. I wear many hats. I'm an actress, model, motivational speaker, and First Nations activist for Indigenous issues. And I'm so proud to be making history as the first Indigenous Miss Universe Canada. I'm in shock. I'm in awe. I never imagined this dream would ever happen for myself, because growing up, I grew up on the reserve, and I didn't even dare to dream big. I grew up in poverty and lived through abuse, so to come from very humble beginnings and to work so hard just to get to this point, it's really eye-opening and almost overwhelming, but my heart feels so happy because I know this is so much bigger than me. It's not just a title, it's about what it represents, who I'm speaking for, who I'm representing, and to be the first Indigenous woman to win this title. Now all these young Native girls are feeling seen and heard for the first time, so I just couldn't be more prouder of myself. Growing up on the reserve was really difficult. I grew up in really unfortunate circumstances. I lived through poverty and abuse, so a daily struggle for me was, having to survive every day. I was in flight or fight mode, and as a little girl, that's very hard to deal with at 5 years old, to grow up in those circumstances, and I had to grow up very quickly. I never had a normal childhood like other people did, where they got to celebrate themselves and be happy and be regular kids. I never had that, so now when I do things, I feel like I'm doing them for the first time. I'm experiencing things for the first time, and I'm finally getting to live, because when I was young, I didn't get to. And as a little girl, the daily struggle of, dealing with racism at school because I'm Indigenous, because I'm different, and then also not having access to certain things or having to pick bottles for food. A lot of people, when they see me now, they will easily judge a book by its cover, but they don't know the hardships and the adversity I had to overcome to become who I am now. And inside, I'm still that little girl from the res. I've never changed, and I'll always remember where I come from. I would say my mom and my grandmother, my kukum, motivated me a lot, because my kukum, she was a medicine woman, so my culture was the thing that saved my life. It's what gave me strength. Having the sweat lodge and ceremonies and being connected to who I truly am is what makes me powerful. And my mom, being there with me in those circumstances of living through poverty and abuse, and her overcoming cancer twice, has been really inspiring, because she's so strong, and she's a leader in her way where she lives for others. And what I learned from my grandmother is that in order to heal yourself, you need to help others heal as well, and that brings your heart back together. I wouldn't be where I am today without my grandparents. My grandparents are very traditional people. They passed away, but I carry my culture with me everywhere that I go. They taught me everything about who I was, and the strength that comes from adversity, and the resiliency that runs through my blood. That is my power, and knowing that that's something no one can ever take away from me, that's my identity. Representation matters. It is so vital for us to be seen and heard, and especially in mainstream, because Indigenous people, we're always put on the back. We're always disregarded and we're not seen. I feel like the media stereotypes us and only wants to show the negatives, but they never want to show the success of Indigenous people. And there's a lot of talented Indigenous people in this country, and now we're finally being seen, and knowing that I opened this door and knowing that I won't be the last is the most powerful thing about it all. It's that powerful ripple effect of empowerment that's just going to pass on from generations. The greatest thing about our country is that no matter where you come from in the world, you can feel Canadian by being here. You can feel welcomed. There's so much rich history in this country, with Indigenous people, that celebration, and showing that we are still here. But also people from all over the world are able to come together in one place, and it's like the world connecting in one part of the world. That's the best part, is knowing that it's so diverse, so inclusive, and knowing that anyone here is welcome to thrive and survive here. In Canada, it's such a place where we can give those dreams and make anything possible for anyone that wants to try. I grew up in very humble beginnings, so I didn't even dare to dream big. I had no dreams. I felt like I was never going to be able to leave the reserve and accomplish anything because I didn't see anyone that looked like me, that was doing the things that I wanted to do or doing the things I wanted to chase. So I felt like the dream wasn't even attainable. So I had to fight so hard just to get to this point, not just because I'm a woman, it's hard, but because I'm an Indigenous woman, it's even harder. People don't want me in their spaces, and it's because of stereotypes against Indigenous people. And I think a lot of people, they judge a book by its cover, and they think that we are those stereotypes. They don't celebrate the success of Indigenous people in our country, and there is so much. But what I would tell young girls who were just like myself, that felt like they didn't have any self-love or self-worth, that's something I had to learn to grow and learn to love myself. My one thing that I carry with me is a quote I created when I was a little girl because I needed something to believe in that was my own, and I didn't have any role models that I looked up to. So it's love and live fearlessly. And I know that might sound like a little cheesy, but a little girl made that quote. And when I mean that, I say, like, I want you to love and appreciate yourself for the way Creator made you, because He made you that way for a reason. And when I say live fearlessly, I mean never let fear stop you from chasing your dreams, no matter how big or small they are, or how crazy they sound, because you are capable of anything you set your mind to. We really are limitless in this universe. When I was on The Amazing Race Canada, I had to overcome one of my biggest fears of all time. And I don't like bugs. I'm not a fan of bugs. And in this show, I had to do whatever they told me to. Or if you didn't win. So I remember I had to end up eating a live bat in Vietnam, and live bugs and cockroaches and everything. And I remember I was shaking like this because I couldn't handle it, because I was so terrified to even touch it. But I remember when I was ripping it apart, everyone was watching there in Vietnam, and they were laughing at me because I started crying because I was trying so hard to hold it down. But they all asked me, "What does it taste like, Ash?" And I'm like a type of meat you shouldn't eat. but you know, I made it through. And the craziest thing was, like, when I was done, I started chewing gum to get rid of all the taste. And when I took it out, it was covered in all different, like, bugs' legs and everything that I ate. But watching that on TV was probably the funniest thing, because now everyone uses that as their screensaver, my crying, screaming face. So I can't escape that. I feel like I'm going to work as hard as I possibly can to put Canada back on the map and make them a powerhouse, but I want to represent our nation, our entire nation, to feel proud, not just Indigenous peoples. I want to represent everyone, because, you know, I come from a place where I didn't even dare to dream big, like I said, but now I have accomplished all these things. But it was my mentality and my strength and also my fearlessness that got me to this point. And I want that to be an inspiration for women, that they can chase anything that they set their mind to, no matter what hurdle you have to overcome, because adversity helps us grow. It gives us strength, and it also is important to step out of your comfort zone. That's why I try all these different things, because I want to see what I'm made of. And with this, I'm really going to be stepping into a place where it's so new, and I feel like this is one of the biggest dreams of my life. You know, as a little girl, I always wanted to be a queen. I always wanted to be a princess, but I never imagined, and now it's here, and it's like one of the happiest moments of my life. It's one of the biggest things it's ever, because I know what it means to people, not just what it means to me, what it means to all people that felt like they've never been seen or heard. It's very impactful, because I've opened the door. And, you know, breaking glass ceilings is a big deal to me, but it's so important when you break those glass ceilings. You know, you gotta push that glass aside so other people can comfortably and confidently walk in those spaces after you, so they can shine. Hey, Muskogosic, Enoch Cree Nation, 440, your girl here, Ash. I am so proud that I put Enoch on the map. We made history. We did it, because when one of us wins, all of us win. I am so proud to represent the Enoch Cree Nation, my home in Treaty 6, and we are going to Miss Universe. I'm going to be bringing this crown home to you, and I can't wait to come home. See you guys soon.